Alright, so we're back in the shop. We're effing with the CJ5 because although the CJ5 did admirably on its maiden voyage, we've got a few issues. So we're going to see if we can't resolve those in some kind of a meaningful manner. So issue number one is when you fill the gas tank up, it leaks like a sieve for some reason, and it appears to be leaking on the driver's side. So I don't know if it's leaking up around the sending unit or something. So we're draining the tank right now into a couple gas cans, get out most of the gas so it doesn't weigh 700 pounds. And we're going to drop this tank for the second time and have a look and see what the hell is going on. Good buddy Matt J, who is a subscriber, he's been sending me a lot of information about the way these were originally ran. They had a charcoal canister, they had a rollover valve, they've had all this other stuff, and of course all that's been taken off of the CJ5 before I ever had it. So we're going to have to figure out if our vent lines are working right, if they're hooked up at all. I know part of them are not. Then the return line is hooked in the front, but I don't know if it's actually making it to the tank. I don't remember, so we're going to look at all this. We're going to pull the tank, we're going to have a look at it, and see what all we can find out. So we've already siphoned out about 5 gallons. This is like a 3-gallon tank or a 2.5-gallon tank. The tank, I think, is only a 15-gallon tank, so as long as it's not completely full, we'll be alright. Which this is almost full here. So let me set you down before this overflows, which it's literally about to. Right now, there we go. Very close on that one. I'm glad I was paying attention. Can't spill this precious fuel. Stuff's too expensive these days to be just willy-nilly in it. Alright, so I think that's enough out of the tank to be able to work with. There's probably still 4 or 5 gallons in the tank. 3 or 4 gallons, something like that. But I think it's alright. And on a side note, for why the tire went flat on the CJ5 the other day, I can show you that real quick before we get started on this hell mission. So, this tube came out of that tar, and it's got a microscopic pinhole on it on the inside edge of it in here. It's a brand new tube, and when I put it on this rim, I cleaned this rim. It wasn't too bad, but I cleaned it. I ran some tape in the center of it. I painted it, and I thought it was good enough, but apparently I missed a couple spots. So now I'm going to go back through. This is what this is, where I started smoothing it out some. I'm going to go back through with a grinder, wire wheel, and everything, and get all this burrs and anything that I might have missed before, get all that done, and then get a new tube and slam that tire back on. Because the tire is fine. There's nothing wrong with the tire, no nail, nothing. So it's just the tube. So that kind of sucks, but between a flappy disc like this and a regular grinding disc, we'll get that wheel sorted, painted. I'll wrap more tape around it because tape is always good to put on there. It helps. Even if you miss a spot, the tape will smoother, obviously, than the metal. So, but yeah, that's why we had critical failure. But other than that, the other day, between the CJ5, the flat tire, the only thing it did that it didn't perform well was it leaking this gas, which I don't think is the CJ5's fault. I think it's the previous guy who's jacked around with everything, cutting holes in the floor, all that crap. So we're going to see if we can't get this ciphered, and then we should be, as far as it running and driving, the thing ran amazing. It was fantastic. So let's see if we can't get you where you might could see something. You have a series of bolts back here along this edge. We're going to take those out, and then there's 3 up underneath the rear cross member. So we'll take those out. We should be able to drop the tank down enough to unloosen the lines that run into the top from the fuel pump. And then we'll be cooking. I believe these were 1/2 inch. We'll try to keep up with the nuts if we can. And we're already, oh, it's in the socket. Say this is the second time. I don't even remember why I had the tank out the first time. I can't even remember. I have to rewatch that video. It's easier to take out than some other gas tanks, though, that's for sure. You can actually get to it. As far as the brakes were concerned and the engine idling and running and cranking and everything, it did phenomenally good on its first mountain voyage, so quite pleased with that. Let's see. I don't know if you can see them or not, but I will try to show them to you. But I don't know if there's enough light, but well, up in that region, you see that bolt right there, there's 3 of them. So I'm going to pull those out. Last time I did this, the gas tank fell onto my chest, which seemed to actually work out pretty good. But I'm not even going to attempt to get the camera up in there because it's too risky of damaging the camera. So we're gonna do it like this. Oh, yeah, like that. That's what I'm talking about. Still feels pretty damn heavy. Let's get the microphone somewhere where it's not going to break it, because the gas tank just fell directly on it. Clip you on the brake line, I reckon. Got more gas in it than I thought it did. It's another brilliant idea of AMC to jam this so close to the dam. Ow. Damn it there. This is not an ideal situation to be in, so I can't see my ass. unhooked. Well, break that damn hard line. Hope he's doing any good. See what the hell is going on, because if you fill this tank all the way up, it spews out, does a bunch of weird stuff. Making sure we didn't cut our lines right there, which we appear to not have. Although we did almost pull that one out. Slide that back a little bit on there. I realize that you're probably not seeing nothing, but here's the top of the fuel tank. Now these are the vents that my buddy's talking about, I do believe. They're capped on here. Now, from what I understand, these would have ran to some kind of check valve and all this kind of stuff, so, but I don't know. I think he said that I should have at least one of these with a hose running off of, with some kind of filter on the end, so that the tank can breathe. But my main concern here right now is, why is this thing like puking gas everywhere? Because this does have a gasket under it, but it moves an awful hell of a lot, and I don't believe there's your float for your gas tank. It doesn't appear to have the right gasket. Put this somewhere semi-clean, so there's no sock on the pickup at all, which is generally not good. Usually you should have some kind of sock on that, so you don't pick up massive chunks of debris running through our fuel system. Of course, we've got a filter up here on this end, but so there appears to be a good bit of sediment in this tank, which is always nice. Oh yeah, there's all kinds of shit floating around in there. There's a leaf in there, so that's good. So we're gonna clean this tank out before we put it back in, and we're gonna see if we can't get this thing to stop leaking, because that's not what we want. Now this ring is all bent shit, so maybe we can straighten that out. Maybe that'll help. Put some Permatex on this, perhaps. When we put it back together to seal it. And then we can figure something out about this. Alright, let's drag this over here where we can actually work on it some. We need to get the rest of this gas out of here into something. What we're going to do is we're going to set it up on something, siphon it out. I'd like to put a fuel filter on the end of it before I stick it down in there to siphon it, so it doesn't siphon the trash into the new or into the gas tank. I don't know if I have one of those. So we're gonna do the best that we can here. Oh. Right. Gas can. There. You take your pump ball, get it down lower than the tank. Get the siphon started. There we go. You just gotta squirt gas on your phone. Actually get it down in the tank where it'll work. But as long as your tank is higher than your siphoning side, it'll work. You can actually pull this off. That way it's unrestricted by the ball. Put that in there. We'll siphon that out. That gas feels good when you get it in cuts and stuff. It's really, really good. And then we need to clean this tank. Maybe pressure wash the inside of it. Get all that loose crap in there out. Flush it real good. Flush it with some kerosene after we wash it. Something. Because I don't want to get hung up sucking all that trash in my carburetor and everything. So. Which so far it hasn't been a problem, but maybe that's why the carb kind of runs a little shitty. It's because it's picking up a little bit of trash. It's trying to fight its way through the system. But it is a new tank. I think it's just they put it on, put it in, and then it just sits, you know, with trash. And this wasn't sealed up properly up here. So we'll get it figured out. It's something ciphered, that's for sure, one way or the other. Let's see here. While we're waiting on that to drain, we're going to get some air here for just a second. And the CJ5's doing good. It's people really dig it when you're driving it around on the road. People are waving, and not just Jeep people, but people like it. You don't see that many of the old CJ5s, and this ain't even the oldest one, right? You don't see many of the CJ5s kicking it around anymore that are stock, that haven't been butchered all up and lifted, and fender wells cut, fenders cut flat, and all that crap. So people seem to dig it. I dig it. I understand why. So I think what we'll do here is, like I say, we'll clean the tank. We're going to put some kind of sock on this, because this is some BS right here. This should have a sock on it so that your pickup isn't sucking trash straight into your car. You know, so it's not what you want. So we need to get something to put on that. then this gasket does fit it, but I don't like it. I don't like the way it mounts. So I have to figure something out for that. And then our float is working. We've got our wire, so we might be able to get our fuel gauge or a fuel gauge working, because that'd be kind of neat. That gasket just barely sits in there. I don't dig it. And then this is the return line. So this is hooked up. Now there's another third line back there that's good size that runs back there, and then somebody's cut it off. So I don't know what that is, but now that the tank's out of the way, I can actually look at that and see what it is. It appears to run to the front, so I don't know. Nobody can ever leave anything alone, so they have to butcher it, and they have to do it wrong. But if you ask the people that did this, they probably think that they helped. Because like my buddy said, a lot of this had to do with emissions and stuff, and yeah, most of the emission stuff I'm against, right? When it comes to these old vehicles, I'm against it. It labored the engine, it robbed power, right? But this crap that's keeping gas vapor from escaping into the atmosphere, this didn't affect its performance. This isn't part of the emissions on the CJ5 that would have affected its actual performance. There was no reason to butcher all this. So I do agree with that 100%. So we'll have to figure this out and get the Jeep back on the road. So it shouldn't be too much of a nightmare. It just sucks. That's all. It just sucks. But while we're waiting on this, I don't know if I have a history topic prepared. I don't think I have one in the ropes here. Nothing really off the top of my head right now. I've been worrying about the Jeep so much. I haven't got nothing handy. Maybe I can think of something here in a minute. Maybe I can. I'll do better next time, I promise. And we're not draining anymore. I think it's because we're almost empty. We've got to be getting close. This gas can get a hole in it. Is that what's happening? In there? Yeah, there you go. See all that crap? That should be shiny in there, and it's like nasty as hell, so that's no bueno. No good. So we're gonna see about what we can't do about that. It's gonna be fun, I guarantee it. It'll be real fun. So let's get this out of the way before it gets crushed. Move this. Drag our catch pan over here. We're gonna see about pouring the rest of this gas and most of this debris that we can into this catch pan. And then we'll clean it further after that. Probably another couple gallons, well, 1 gallon at least, because like I say, I've got 3 I've got out at least 12 gallons out of it, and it's only like a 15-gallon tank, so it should be most of the good gas should be in one of these 3 cans. Like I say, when we pour it back in, we're gonna be careful how we pour it back in. We want to pour it back into a clean tank. So like I say, there's stuff going on back here. Need to clean this and paint that. They didn't want you damaging your gas tank. I'm telling you, they built that thing pretty hardy. So alright, let's see. We got some room to work. Oh, alright. This, put those where we can find them again. Got some kind of oil leak here that I don't know if it's still alive or not, but this is all oily right there. And the pumpkin is leaking, but it's leaking from here. The pinion doesn't appear to be leaking. If it is, it's very little. And it really shouldn't be throwing it right here, which is directly above differential, which I find kind of strange. So I don't know. We'll just keep checking the Earl and the differential and whatnot. All right, so this is the line I'm talking about. So this is your fuel lines right here. So this is your main fuel line. This one's your vent line. Okay, and bent the hell out of that. And this line right here that I don't know what is. This one's been cut off very crudely, and I don't know what this one is right here. And it goes straight. I don't know where it goes. So we know what these two are. This is the one that I don't know what is. So I don't know if that ran to this canister thing that my buddy's talking about or what. But I don't see any of those things still here. I'm also going to, while I've got this uncovered, I'm going to clean this underneath here and paint it black. Like these crap they've welded in when they fixed the back of the tub. We're going to go ahead and paint that. All that kind of stuff. Just so it doesn't rust any more than it already is. I also need to get this bolt out right here that's broke off and put a new bolt in it because the shackles only hold with one bolt right now, and it was missing on this side, and I was able to put another bolt in it. I would very much like to do that. Yeah, so once again, Matt J, if you can see this, I don't know what this is. Fuel line, return line, which are both hooked up and functional. I had no back pressure in the carburetor that I'm aware of. Like I say, it's both of these, the vent and the filler neck, are both hooked up, and my gas cap isn't the best in the world, so it might have been venting through the factory vent over here instead of the system that it should have been. I don't know. These fuel lines here are rusted together pretty good, but they're still doing their job. So we're gonna leave them alone for right now. Yeah, I just don't know what this one is. So. Yep. got this hella oil leak. Like I say, the differential is leaking just a touch, but it's not leaking in a way that it would run where it would spray up. Now this could have been from this axle tube over here where that seal was bad, and it was leaking in the tire, was throwing it onto this. That's kind of what I'm thinking, because the frame is oily here too, and it's not oily on the other side, so I'm thinking it might have been from this wheel. Now we've already fixed that. This isn't leaking anymore, so that might just be residual from that, and that's what I'm hoping. This small leak I can deal with. The rear main seal leaking still I can deal with. I don't want to deal with it, but I'm not changing it again right now. So that'll be some good holes to put our bumper assembly on when we get it. So yeah. Otherwise, it doesn't look too horrendous under here. This kind of butchery they did, but the frame itself, the only spot of rust I've seen on this whole frame is on the other side of this thing here. It's hard to see where it meets this rear cross member. It's got a little bit rotted out the top corner of it, but nothing serious. The rest of the frame, I haven't seen a single soft spot in the whole frame. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not rotted behind this stupid stopper right here, because they almost always are under these stoppers. But I've blown dirt. There was a rat nest in the frame. I've blown dirt out of it on both sides. I've sprayed paint in there. This end's still got a bunch of dirt in the end of the frame, so I'm slowly trying to get that crap blown out of the frame so that it doesn't get water in it and just hold water on the inside of the frame. I like box frames, but I also like regular frames. And the good thing about a regular frame is they very rarely rot out unless they sit a long time, because they can't hold mud except for on one lip, and then when you drive it, water hits it and washes it off. This just fills with mud and water, and then it just sits there and holds it. See, that's all dirt in there. So I need to blow this side out again and try to get all that crap out of the frame as much as I can, because they must have really buried this thing up into the mud. But this is what I'm doing. My battery's about to die. There's nothing else to show you right now, so just show you what we're doing to the CJ5. So until next time, until the next video, let me wipe the screen off. Yeah, until next time, until the next video, keep on keeping on. Hit that subscribe button. Tell your friends. I freshly shaved my head like Britney Spears, so we're back to looking good again. Stone Cold look over here. A little bit longer goatee. But anyway, get it. And don't forget, CJ5 for life, baby. Get it.